It will be 34 years in April, and the families of the 97 have grown used to waiting. And for what was described as a burning injustice, they have now received an apology. For the failings on that day, but also for the years of failings that followed, the lack of honesty that made the pain and suffering all the worse.
Policing is apologising and recognising that policing was the primary cause of the disaster, the Hillsborough disaster, tragedy. But policing is also apologising for the now nearly 34 years that the families have had to wait to have their questions answered, to have justice, to have some form of closure about what happened on that awful day.
They've promised change to prevent a repeat, but the report calling for that was published 5 years ago. The delay adding to the sense of injustice for families. Louise Brooks lost her brother, Andrew Mark.
It's taken them 34 years to apologise. I don't think the report is worth the paper it's printed on. I think it's just been one of those where they've been seen in public to do what they think they're expected to do. But there's no real sincerity.
And those who investigated Hillsborough say the continuing lack of a government response is striking.
The government has to accept responsibility for appropriate reforms that will deal at all levels with the those bereaved, those who are injured in such circumstances. That, to me, is absolutely essential. Only government policy can actually right the wrongs of the existing processes within state institutions.
In the Commons, the Home Secretary did offer this.
The government remains absolutely committed to responding to the Bishop's report as soon as practicable.
But no indication of when that will be.
The very fact the Hillsborough families had to fight so hard for so long to have their voices heard, to them is a sign of the systemic failures that existed. Whether future families in future tragedies are spared that will be the test of what's being promised now.
The families say only a Hillsborough law would prevent what they see as the cover-up that prolonged their agony over those who went to the football and never came home. Greg Milam, Sky News, Liverpool.